Well, let's finish up our treatment of passwords by cracking a few passwords. We can use lots of different ways to do this. We can look up a hash. We can use a dictionary attack or a brute force attack. I want to show a little bit of each one of those. We're going to use a couple of different tools, one online and one whole set of tools on our Kali Linux box, so that we can work with those passwords that we got from our section on Windows 7 hacking where we did a hash dump. If you don't have that file, you can go back and recreate it, or you can just see how we can create our own MD5 our own hash, and try to crack it as well. So first, let's go to our Kali Linux box where we cracked a few passwords already, and then we'll create a few more that we can crack as well. In the section on Windows 7 hacking, under my Documents folder, I had that Win7 hashes. Let's take a look at that document and increase the font sizes there. And you can see I have this hash dump file that I got from my compromised Windows 7 computer. Now, if you did not extract this or you didn't create this many users, that's okay. We're going to create a couple of hashes ourselves as well. But if you have this file, we can go ahead and try a couple of things out. First of all, let's use one of the easiest tools out there for cracking passwords, and that's just the World Wide Web. So if I want to take a look at Wilma's password, well, actually, I tell you what, let's go ahead and make a shortened version of this that has just the password hashes. You can see that the first half of all of these NTLM passwords, or all of these dumped passwords from our Windows box, start with the same hash, and then they have the actual hash of the password. Let's go to File, Save As. Let's go to File, Save As, or to the little drop-down menu here, Save As, and let's call this Just Hashes. And this will help us out because we're going to get rid of all of this starting stuff. We'll keep them in the same order so that we know that each user was administrator, guest, IE user, Fred, and Wilma. Those were the users that I had created in my Windows 7 computer. We're going to get rid of everything except for the actual hashes. Well, as you can see, two of our password hashes are exactly identical, the default administrator and guest passwords on that Windows 7 box. It looks like both of those might have been empty. In fact, if you get to know your NTLM hashes, you'll see that that is the null or empty password. But then all of our other three users have unique passwords, so let's save that document with just hashes. And now I'm going to make use of that ability to copy from one machine to the other. We set that up back at the beginning of the Windows 7 hacking. So I should be able to just right-click and copy all of those hashes. And I'm going to switch back over to my local workstation. And we can do a web search for any password cracking or hash cracking website. But one of my favorites is hashkiller.co.uk. Hashkiller.com in the UK. Hashkiller.co.uk. That's hashkiller.co.uk. Then scroll to the bottom of that and come to the NTLM decryptor. Because we got these from a Windows NT flavored machine, that is our Windows 7 box, we can put those hashes right in here. So if I paste what I just copied, and you can check your guest editions to make sure that you're able to do this well, and I pasted those in there. Now I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of the page here at Hashkiller. They want us to do a CAPTCHA. And in my case, it's found 3 of the hashes. Look at this. I'll try to zoom in a bit here and make those bigger. Wow, there we go. Look at this. It got the password for our third user, which was our IE user, password with a capital P, a 0 and an exclamation, Wilma and Fred. So Fred's password was Wilma and Wilma's password was Fred on that Windows 7 box that we set up. How did it do that? Well, it's got a database of over 312 billion as of this writing. It keeps growing all the time, but they've got hundreds of billions of password hashes in lots of different formats. In this case, the NTLM format was what we had from our Windows 7 box, but that was pretty fast. Let's also see one of the tools that comes with your Kali Linux installation. Now, there are lots of password cracking tools here under Applications, Password Attacks. You've got Johnny, you've got Offcrack, you've got Medusa if you want to try to log in with brute force on a server. I'll choose Offcrack just because it's one easy graphical one, so Offcrack. And now we're going to load the password dump file. from Documents and go to Win7 Hashes. And you can see right away it's already told us that 2 of those password fields were empty. So I can log into that Windows 7 box as administrator as my password and as my username and no password. Or I can try to find one of these passwords. Wow, that did not take long on brute force to test out and find one of the passwords. Wilma, with just a 4-character password. Fred took just about 9 seconds to turn up with a password. These others we might need to use a password list. And let's talk about where our password lists or our dictionaries are. If you come under Applications, Password Attacks, Word Lists, Callie will tell you that it comes with a whole lot of different word lists. And you can get to these. These are all linked from user share word lists. So if I ls here, I'll see rockyou.txt. That's a really good password database. So I'm going to unzip that. I'm going to unzip this rockyou. So I'll say gunzip because it's zipped with a gzip. Gunzip or gunzip rockyou. And then if we ls, we can see rockyou.txt is in there now. And now if I more rockyou.txt, I can see all of those passwords that people use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was most popular last year. Password makes it in there. I love you, princess, rockyou, ABC 1, 2, 3. Names, you see them all. This is a huge password dictionary. And everything that you might have thought of as a password may already be in here, so that's really quick and easy to crack. Let's go take a look at one other tool. I'm going to come to Applications, Password Attacks. We've got John the Ripper and Johnny, the graphical user interface version of that, and we can load up our hashes that way and try to crack them as well. I just want to show a couple of quick things, though. We're going to use the terminal, and we're just going to do a regular MD5 sum. Most of the time when you get a password on a website, they've used MD5. So MD5 sum. And we just hit enter and let's type a password. Let's say, pick a password that you think is unique, like P at $W0RD exclamation mark. And then we're going to hit Control D twice. And it's given us the MD5 hash of P at $W0RD exclamation. So we're going to copy that and bring it back over here to Hash Killer. And let's go down to the bottom and go to the MD5 decryptor and paste that hash in. Scroll down to the bottom and do the little CAPTCHA and click Submit. And it did not take very long from this database of over 800 million MD5 hashes to turn up P at $W0RD exclamation point as the password for this now cracked MD5 hash. So we can see that it's an important thing to have better passwords than just substituting a few characters. And unfortunately, even if you substitute a lot of characters, out of 800 billion combinations right now for the MD5 password cracker, almost no password is safe if it's just a regular dictionary word with just a few substitutions. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about some ways to keep your passwords safe, to make your passwords safer, and to keep your password from getting exposed in any of the ways that we've seen today. So we'll talk about some good tips for password safety coming up next.